My name is Jake, and I'm 35 years old. It's been 15 years since I stepped into the world of the gang. I became the youngest underboss in our group. Even for someone like me, there are loved ones I care deeply about. This weekend, I visited a high-end restaurant to celebrate my sister Sarah's 39th birthday. After our parents passed away young, Sarah stepped in as a parental figure and raised me. I don't often express my gratitude, but on occasions like this, I want to show it properly. Jake, this food really lives up to its reputation. Thank you for bringing me to such a lovely place. It's nothing. At least once a year, we should indulge a little. Don't hold back, order anything you want. This really is a nice place. I'd heard good things, but it's even better than I imagined. The decor is elegant, and more than anything, the food is delicious. This is turning into a great birthday celebration. But then, something happened that ruined my expectations for this luxurious dinner. Huh. Is that you, Sarah? I'm not mistaken, right? Wow, it's been ages. How have you been? I can't believe I'm running into you here. What a coincidence. Seeing a woman of a similar age speaking to Sarah so familiarly, I asked, and who might this be? It's Jessica. She's a classmate from my middle school days, Sarah replied. That name rang a bell. Sarah once shared some stories about her struggles in middle school. It was just the other day while we were relaxing at her house. She'd been sorting through old photos and seemed to be reminiscing about her school days. There was a classmate of mine in middle school named Jessica. She was the daughter of a company CEO, and everything about her life, her possessions, her lifestyle, was enviable. When I was in my 3rd year, our parents passed away. Jessica pretended to pity me, but she would cleverly make nasty remarks. I had no idea Sarah experienced something like that in her school years. What kind of remarks? I asked. Nothing major, just the usual. Once, my grandfather came to a parent-teacher meeting in my parents' place. Jessica saw that and said, "Sarah, is your father really that old?" When I explained that my parents had passed and my grandfather was helping me out, and that I wasn't planning to go to high school, she said, "Oh wow, that's so sad. You're not even going to high school. That's basically a dead-end life." Even hearing about it made my blood boil. Jessica apparently used her wealth as a weapon to belittle others who weren't as fortunate. She kept making those remarks until graduation. She went on to a prestigious girls' school, while I chose to go straight into the workforce. Thinking back, it doesn't leave a good feeling. I should just throw this picture out. With that, Sarah nonchalantly discarded the photo. So that's the person you talked about. Now she's just waltzed up here and started talking to you? I have a bad feeling about this. Jessica was now staring at me with an obvious lack of restraint. I can't believe I'm seeing you here. You really had it rough back in middle school, huh? But look at you now, doing well for yourself. I come to this place all the time. It's full of classy people, don't you think? Honestly, when people like you show up here, it ruins the atmosphere. Don't worry. We know how to behave properly. I'm an adult now, after all. Sure, life wasn't easy back then, but I've managed to do well for myself. Jessica clearly didn't like Sarah's calm response. Doing well, huh? But didn't you go straight to work after middle school? So where do you work now? Sarah casually named a major company. Jessica's eyes widened in surprise. After graduating middle school, Sarah worked tirelessly and developed skills that didn't rely on an academic background. If I remember right, isn't your father's company in the same industry? Sarah asked. From the conversation, it seemed that Jessica's father's business was in the same field. However, Sarah's company was slightly more prominent and well-known. Ha! Acting all confident now, are you? You know what they say, a leopard can't change its spots. Once poor, always poor. It's just in your nature. Are you really ordering the most expensive course? It doesn't suit you at all. You clearly don't know your place. Teaching poor people manners is just impossible, isn't it? It's fine. We made a reservation and fully intend to pay for everything. Oh, and who's this guy? Jessica asked, turning her gaze to me. This is my brother. He's treating me for my birthday, Sarah answered. I gave Jessica a slight nod, but she stared me up and down, clearly judging me. Oh, I thought maybe he was your boyfriend or something. Seriously? You're having dinner with your brother at your age? That's so lame. Birthdays are for kids, you know. This place isn't meant for things like that. Did you come here just because it's expensive and you wanted to experience it? Okay, fine. Happy birthday, I guess. This is so pathetic. Ha ha. She really has no filter, does she? I could see why Sarah didn't like her. This woman seemed to have spent her whole life bragging about her family's money. Just as I began to feel truly annoyed, a server came over to pour wine with graceful movements befitting such an upscale restaurant. They filled our glasses with the finest wine. For a moment, the atmosphere felt refreshed, as if we were starting over. Well, hopefully even Jessica will take the hint and leave now, I thought. Peace can be restored. But seeing the server's actions, Jessica only became more agitated. The moment the server left, Jessica aggressively confronted Sarah. Did you seriously order Romane Conti without even appreciating its value? What a waste of wine. Cheap wine is good enough for someone like you. Honestly, not knowing your place like that. How embarrassing. I'll make sure you don't make the same mistake again. With that, Jessica snatched Sarah's glass and dumped the wine over her head. Crimson stains spread across Sarah's white dress, dotting it like scars. I was so stunned that I couldn't even close my gaping mouth. Ha ha. Oh, this is priceless. You're soaked. Your makeup and dress are a mess, but honestly, this is more fitting for you. It's proof you don't belong in a place like this, Jessica sneered. How dare you work at a bigger company than us and order the most expensive course? I can't let that slide. Even if you don't like us, isn't this going way too far? Sarah protested. This is ridiculous. But Jessica ignored her, dropping her voice to a menacing tone. I'll make you disappear. I'll use the gang's power. Without caring that we were still in a restaurant, Jessica pulled out her phone and made a call. From her words, it sounded like she had connections with some gang and was giving orders. I didn't know what kind of relationship she had with them, but she spoke with a tone of authority as if she owned them. That was the moment I hit my limit. I grabbed Sarah's hand, stood up, and glared at Jessica. Hey, meet me out back. Oh, how scary. What a violent tone. So, the little brother of a poor family is a brute now. Out back, you say. You don't even know who's backing me. Fine, I'll take you up on it. Don't regret this later. You talk too much. You're nothing like my refined sister. I've had enough. I'll be the one to wipe out your family's business and your gang buddies. We paid the bill, and Jessica canceled her meal. We all headed out back. The alley behind the restaurant was dark and narrow, a place no ordinary person would pass through. But it wasn't empty. Several gang members were already gathered there, waiting like predators. So this is your plan. Ambush us here to rough us up, huh? Judging from their tattoos and demeanor, they were members of that group. They had some muscle, but they weren't unbeatable. The gang members smirked as they stared at us, likely amused by the sight of Sarah, still drenched in wine. Hey, she's not here for your entertainment, I snapped. I desperately wanted to get Sarah out of there, but there was no way I could ignore a fight that had been brought to us. Oh, here they are, Jessica said in that grating sing-song voice. Look at these two. Don't they just scream poverty? They were causing all kinds of trouble in my regular spot. I'm big on manners, so I couldn't just let it go. You're the one who poured wine on her head in the middle of the restaurant. You're the one who caused the trouble. I shot back. Ignoring me, Jessica switched back to her low, venomous tone. Take care of this woman, and while you're at it, deal with the guy too. At her signal, the gang members charged at Sarah. She screamed, but in an alley like this, no one would hear her. You cowards. Attacking a woman, and you call yourselves a gang. If you lay even a finger on her, I won't let you off easy. Come at me instead. But they ignored me, focusing on Sarah, the easier target. Damn it. I knew this group had a bad reputation, but this. Hiring gang members as personal bodyguards. Jessica must have bought them with money. I stepped in front of Sarah, blocking their attacks. Behind me, I heard her sharp intake of breath. Jake, don't push yourself. If it's about me, it's okay, she pleaded. What are you saying? If I don't protect you, who will? You just focus on keeping yourself safe. But there are so many of them. I don't know what to do. Of course you don't. You're not used to gang fights, but it's okay. I'll fight for both of us. There's no way I'm letting Jessica get her way. I swatted away the gang's punches as they came flying at me. The gang seemed slightly taken aback by my movements. It looked like they realized I wouldn't go down so easily. Come on. What are you waiting for? He's just one guy. Do your job, or you're not getting paid. Jessica screamed, clearly panicking. So it's true. You're just paying these guys to be your muscle. What a sad little woman you are. Actually, you're too old to be called a little woman. Maybe it's time you retired, old hag. Predictably, my provocation got under Jessica's skin. Her face turned red as she spat back. How dare you insult me like that? You've got no manners at all. I don't care what happens, just beat him into a pulp. But the truth was, no run-of-the-mill gang members could defeat me. I wasn't the youngest underboss for nothing. Remaining composed, I systematically took down one gang member after another. Some collapsed onto the ground, while others scrambled to flee. You've got to be kidding me. Why is he so strong? My gang members have never lost before. Jessica shouted. A beaten gang member slumped on the ground and muttered weakly, Even if you say that, it's impossible. This guy is insanely strong. You're a pathetic bunch. Are you really gang members? If people like you can get by, then standards have fallen pretty low. All right, one last guy left. The remaining gang members were already panting heavily. It was clear they were no match for me. Do something. If you lose, you'll regret it, Jessica screamed. Not a chance. Sis, stay behind cover. I'll handle this. With that, I delivered a full-force strike to the last gang member. He crumpled to the ground, leaving just the three of us, me, Sarah, and Jessica, standing in the alley. This is unbelievable. I guess poor people are just unusually sturdy. I miscalculated, Jessica muttered. You really can't shut that mouth, can you? Are you next? I don't like raising my hand against women, but you. I've got a grudge against you. You humiliated us back in the restaurant, and I hear you insulted Sarah back in middle school, too. You might think those words were nothing, but the people you said them to haven't forgotten. Fear flickered across Jessica's face as I loomed closer. Fine, I'll let you off this time. But if I catch you causing trouble in my territory again, you'll regret it. I'm not generous enough to let you off twice. Behind her, the injured gang members scattered, limping or running away, abandoned by her so-called allies. Jessica backpedaled a few steps before breaking into a run and disappearing. That woman, she's practically worse than the gang themselves. And the way she called them in, it was like second nature. She must have some real connections to the underworld. The following Monday, I woke up late in the morning to Sarah's call. Hello. Jake, can you come to my office right now? Your office? Are you sure it's okay for me to be there? Yes, it's a bit of a complicated situation. I don't have time to explain. Just come to the front of the building, please. Got it. I'm on my way. Sensing something was seriously wrong, I grabbed my things and rushed to her company. When I arrived, I was met with an unexpected sight. Jessica was standing there. This time, she wasn't dolled up. Her hair was a mess, and she looked like she'd been through hell. This doesn't look good. I'll stay out of sight and see what happens. After a while, Sarah emerged from the building. It seemed she had used her break time to slip out. I quietly revealed myself and guided Jessica into the shadows, just in case things got messy. Jessica, I was surprised when the reception called about you. What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at work? And if this is about the other day, isn't this all a bit sudden? Not that I'd want you seeking revenge anyway. Don't play dumb. Because of you two, I'm about to lose my job. What are you talking about? So the story's already made its way here. That was fast. I thought I already knew why Jessica was panicking. The day after the restaurant incident, I anonymously tipped off a tabloid about her ties to the gang. It was a sensationalist magazine, the kind that loved juicy stories about the underworld. Look at this, Jessica snapped. Daughter of a major company CEO caught with gang ties. That's what it says. They didn't name me, but anyone who knows me can figure it out. Naturally, my coworkers read it and started spreading rumors. The story is even on the internet now, so even the younger employees know. Everyone at my company knows I'm the CEO's daughter. Having a scandal like this makes me the talk of the office. I read that article too. For a tabloid, it's surprisingly accurate. It's almost like the reporter was there, watching everything unfold. But even if you deny it, the truth is the truth. That's the problem. The truth is the problem. I'm the center of my father's company. Everyone kneels to me. I can't afford a scandal like this. Well, maybe you shouldn't have been walking such a dangerous line. How does the daughter of a CEO end up mingling with the gang? You brought this on yourself, so don't blame anyone else. Don't you dare talk like it's my fault. Jessica screamed. My father has already been contacted for comment. He called me in first thing this morning and asked if the story was true. So, did you admit it? Of course not. But he doesn't believe me. He said this isn't a small issue. He might fire me. Everything I've worked for will be gone. And even worse, he said that depending on how this plays out, he'd cut ties with me entirely. What am I supposed to do now? This is all your fault for leaking that information. The moment Jessica screamed, she lunged at Sarah. Her wild, reckless movements showed no regard for limits. At this rate, Sarah was in real danger. I grabbed Jessica's raised arm without hesitation, stopping her cold. Let go of me. What are you doing? That's my line. Attacking Sarah over a news article? Talk about misplaced anger. You can't stand not getting your way, can you? A spoiled princess who grew up thinking everything would go her way. And when it doesn't, you call on the gang. People like you make me sick. What did you say? How dare you? Unlike you, who've been pampered without lifting a finger, Sarah has lived her life overcoming hardship and rising above her circumstances. I won't let you lay a single finger on her. Don't be ridiculous. I won't let some poor nobodies ruin my career. Jessica thrashed wildly, trying to break free from my grip, flailing her arms and legs like a child throwing a tantrum. Feeling uneasy at her bizarre behavior, Sarah instinctively stepped back a few paces. Hey, are you running away, coward? You're scared of me, aren't you? That's why you're stooping to such underhanded tricks. You're the one who brought in gangs to handle your dirty work. If you keep this up, I'll call my own men. Jessica stopped at my words. Your men. Are you saying you have underlings? You're slow to catch on. Didn't you notice anything yesterday? I'm the underboss of a group that's an enemy of the gang you hired. Only Sarah knows this secret. Normally, we live our lives without dragging civilians into our world. Don't lump me in with someone as vulgar as you, screaming and flailing wherever you go. Sarah's brother is an underboss of a gang. Well, that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. That's not fair. Desperately, Jessica pulled out her phone, dialing her usual crime syndicate contacts. Hello. Yes, it's me. I need you to come here right away. There's someone I want you to take care of. I'll double the usual pay this time. I'm in front of company building. Just listen. I'll give you the location. Wait, what? You're not coming. Then, triple. I'll pay triple. What? Why not? Don't hang up. Hello? Hello. Despite offering more money, the call was abruptly cut off. Jessica stared at her phone in disbelief, her voice trembling. What am I going to do? It seems the tabloid article has reached the gang too. They say reporters have been hounding them, asking questions about me. The same people who used to treat me so well are now turning their backs. They're refusing to take my calls and said they want nothing more to do with me. Rejected by her final support, Jessica stood frozen in despair. I took a step forward, then another, closing the distance between us. Heh, what a sight. Did you really think gang help was free? They're more sensitive to profit and loss than anyone else. You've been cut loose, Jessica. Tough luck. Jessica's expression twisted with fear. Stop. Please don't come any closer. At that moment, the rumble of an engine echoed through the narrow alley. A sleek black luxury car approached, barely squeezing into the confined space. What's this? Who would drive all the way here? And they don't look like ordinary civilians either. The car came to a stop, and an older man stepped out with deliberate, commanding movements. He glanced around before speaking in a deep, calm voice. Is there someone here named Jessica? Yes, that's me, she responded. I see. I'm the boss of a certain group. It seems you've been looking after some of my men lately. So, you're the boss of the gang I always call. Yes, that's correct. I happened to overhear your call just now and decided to come. What's going on here? Why would a group leader, embroiled in media coverage, personally come to this place? Does he actually intend to help Jessica? Thank you. Please, these people are the bad ones. Take care of them for me, Jessica pleaded. But the boss's expression darkened as he turned to her, stepping closer with each word. The panic on Jessica's face deepened. Wait. What? Why are you coming toward me? The ones you need to deal with are them. No. I've read that article too. You're the one in the wrong here, and thanks to you, my group's reputation has taken a nosedive. We're overwhelmed trying to clean up the mess you caused. Did you really think I'd let that slide? I'll warn you, I have a short temper. The boss locked eyes with Jessica, his voice dropping to a low, menacing tone. Though he appeared calm on the surface, his presence was overwhelmingly intimidating. So, the boss's real target is Jessica. Perfect. I'll lend him a hand, I thought. The two of us, me and the boss, closed in on Jessica, trapping her between us. Without the combat skills or survival instincts of someone familiar with the underworld, Jessica had nowhere to run. Boss, we're victims of this mess too. Like you, I believe Jessica needs to be taught a lesson. I'll assist you however I can. Is that so? I appreciate it. And just like that, Jessica was caught. The boss grabbed her, restraining her movements with ease as he spoke quietly into her ear. This time, you really made a spectacle of yourself. Lucky for me, your little phone call saved me the trouble of tracking you down. Now then, what should we do with you? Please no. Have mercy. I've already been fired from my company, and my father's about to disown me. I have nowhere left to go. Don't make this worse for me. Jessica's desperate plea for sympathy only made the boss smirk with a sinister glint in his eyes. Nowhere to go. Well, that works out perfectly. I've got a great offer for you. I'll give you a place to live and a job to do. Wait, really? You will? Oh, absolutely. A very special job. It's not something just anyone can do, but for someone like you, a spoiled rich girl, it's perfect. Yes, yes, please. I'll gladly accept. Good. Then get in the car. Jessica's eyes lit up as she eagerly jumped into the back seat of the sleek black luxury car. Watching her, I nearly burst out laughing. That boss is infamous for using people who can no longer walk respectable paths, grinding them down in the underworld. Jessica has no idea what kind of harsh life awaits her. To think he lured her in so smoothly with his words, he's a sly one. Jessica settled into the back seat of the car, looking at the boss as if everything were perfectly in place. When our eyes met, she flashed me the same spiteful smile she had the first time we met. Sorry, poor boy. Someone as special as me is destined for a special future. Starting a new life doesn't sound so bad after all. Come on, boss, let's go. Acting like a child on a field trip, Jessica watched as the boss climbed into the seat next to her. Then, with a cold smirk, he spoke. Sure, but it seems you're under a very big misunderstanding. The special place I'm taking you to is a harsh corner of the underworld. Once you enter, you don't get out. Women like you, they're usually broken down, body and soul, until they disappear. Let's see how many years you can last. Don't worry, I'll make sure you're useful for as long as possible. The blood drained from Jessica's face. Wait, what do you mean? Where are you taking me? Somewhere you'll find very exciting. Haha. No. Stop. Let me out of here. Unable to hold it in any longer, I burst out laughing and called to her. I knew it. This is exactly where you belong. Tell me, Jessica, have you ever once thought about how it feels to be looked down on? Never, right? Well, don't worry. You're about to experience it every day. Help me. Somebody, please save me. As Jessica flailed and screamed, the boss forcefully restrained her, shutting the car door with a loud thud. Even as the car sped off, we could still see her shouting and struggling through the window. Sarah, and I couldn't help but burst into laughter, waving goodbye to the departing car. Later, I checked for any updates about Jessica, but her name and story had completely disappeared from the media. It seems she really has vanished into the shadows, losing her name and place in the world. What's this? New news. The latest headline was about Jessica's father's company. Due to rumors of gang connections, the company's reputation had plummeted. Unable to recover, it had ultimately gone bankrupt. The tabloids reported that the company's collapse was a result of poor crisis management, leaving it beyond repair. With one rival gone, Sarah's company was thriving more than ever. Today, I brought Sarah to a casual bar, the kind of place where we could truly relax. In front of us were simple, homemade-style appetizers and frosty mugs of beer. After all the chaos last time, let's drink properly tonight, I said. Thanks, Jake. That other place was nice, but I felt a little on edge. I think a place like this suits me better. I'm glad to hear that. Here, this is for you. I pulled a small paper bag from my bag and handed it to her. Thank you for raising me like a parent all these years. Oh, it. What? For me? What is it? Inside the bag, she found a small box containing a scarf. Nothing extravagant, but a nice brand. She unwrapped it and immediately put it on, the bright colors perfectly complementing her. This is beautiful. Thank you, Jake. Sorry, I can't do more. I'm always grateful for you. Embarrassed, I downed my beer to hide my awkwardness. It's perfect. I'm the one who should thank you. I'm so happy. I want to wear it every day. Hearing that made me happy too. Sarah has given me so much more than I can count. Some things were visible, but others were intangible yet priceless. From now on, I want to repay her little by little, in every way I can.